Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You'll excuse the fact that I'm out of breath.
That's a UFO if I've ever seen one. About these reports, there will be a letter coming to answer the ability to secure, contain,
attempting to protect.
And we should not allow them to fall into the wrong hands.
SCP-003 is to be maintained at a constant temperature of no less than 35 degrees Celsius and ideally kept above 100 degrees Celsius. In the event of total power failure, assigned personnel must use their body heat to keep SCP-003-1 above the critical temperature. All personnel who have come in physical contact with SCP-003-1 must immediately report for sterilization afterwards. SCP-003-1 must not be removed from SCP-003-2, except in case of emergency procedures detailed above. Any significant change in SCP-003-2's rune activity, including pattern, frequency, or color, should be reported within 3 hours of occurrence. Cessation of rune activity must be reported immediately. SCP-003-2 must be supplied with power via the source-designated generator, 03IX. At all times, refer to attached documentation for details. Description: SCP-003 was located by a remote viewing team SRV-04 Beta. See attached documents. SCP-003 consists of 2 related components of separate origin, referred to as SCP-003-1 and -2. SCP-003-1 appears to be composed of chitin, hair, and nails of unknown biology similar to, arranged in a configuration similar to that of a computer motherboard. Testing reveals that SCP-003-1 to predate earliest known circuit boards by SCP-003-1 is considered sentient but not actively dangerous except under certain conditions. See addenda and attached documents. SCP-003-1 was found on a stone tablet, -2 on which it currently resides. The runes on -2 are not part of any known language and flicker with pale tones. These are effects of communication, interpretable by. Analysis has shown that SCP-003-1 and -2 have different origins. -2 is controlled by a non-biological internal computer, the contents of which are mostly inaccessible without risk of damaging -2. -2 is capable of controlled emissions of radiation including heat, and it is considered probable that SCP-003-2 was created for the purpose of containing -1. Methods detailed in Addendum 003-1 have allowed access to some data contained in -2. While interpretation is not conclusive, contents may refer to past and/or potential future. Class: restructuring event caused by SCP-003-1. SCP-003-2 contains an internal power source of which appears to have been losing power since before discovery by SRV-04 Beta. It appears possible that SRV-04 Beta was deliberately contacted by SCP-003-2 via. Other organizations have also been alerted to SCP-003's existence, possibly by similar means. Despite this activity, -2 does not appear to be sentient, based on its lack of reaction to, including MO3-Gloria procedures. When SCP-003 drops below the temperature of 35 degrees Celsius, both components react. First, SCP-003-1 enters a growth state characterized by an exponential increase in mass. This growth state consists of 2 stages. In both stages, SCP-003-1 partially fuels its growth by converting matter around it, starting with any surrounding inorganic material, including atmospheric elements, then non-living organic material, including cells of dead skin, hair, chitin, enamel, keratin, and other biological materials. The first stage is the default stage. The second stage begins when SCP-003-1 comes in contact with the living organic material. In the second stage, -1 may pause, slow, or change its growth, and will also reprocess inorganic and non-living each of -1's growth rate is diminished by 20 to 90%, so long as SCP-03-1 remains in contact with living organic material. The percentage is determined by the complexity of the organisms in contact with -1, as confirmed by readings. SCP-03-1 appears to devote a large amount of processing power to analysis of the living organic material. During each of -1's growth stages, -2 releases bursts of radiation that temporarily inhibit -1's growth, or reverse this growth when the temperature of -1 rises above 100 degrees Celsius. Similar radiation emissions produce